Everybody, quit hating on the Series S. Welcome to another episode. Hit the like button. Let's support the channel. Let's grow this. Let's have some discussions down in the comments. So today I was looking at some videos today and also noticing that there wasn't a lot of Series S's going out the door the last couple of days at work. And I was kind of wondering, I was like, why? Let's look into the Series S a little more because I didn't look into the Series S very much. I looked more into the Series X, PS5, and obviously I know a lot about the actual PC hardware being as that's what I do for a living. So I did some research, I dug into it some more, and obviously with my knowledge of hardware, I wanted to kind of like give my outlook on it. And one of the things I came across was really important, and that is that when the Gen 8 came out, which was the PS4 and the Xbox One, we did not get to the 1080p 60 FPS they were talking about, right? We got 900p 30 from the Xbox and 1080p 30 from the PS4. And here we are. Updates. Obviously every 2 years or so we had upgraded versions of each console. And here we have the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X when we entered 2020, and we were getting 4K 30, 1080p 60, 1080p 60, 4K 24 at times, where we started getting these resolution scaling features built in. But obviously everybody kept talking resolution. What people need to understand, that resolution does not matter if the frame rate is low or the fidelity is not there, okay? The quality of the picture is more important than just the pixel density, right? Pixel density is more important as this picture gets bigger and bigger, right? The smaller it is, 24-inch monitor, a 1080p picture is absolutely just fine, right? Which is where the Xbox Series S comes in, right? $299, an extra $150 for a nice 144 hertz, 165 hertz 1080p monitor with 1 millisecond gray to gray response is a better experience than what you were getting in a PS4 or an Xbox One by a pretty large margin, right? Not to mention that we now have moved the base level of consoles up so high, right? One of the big things that was really holding back your Assassin's Creeds or your Call of Duties, or especially your Battlefields, being 30 on 30, 15 on 15, and things like that, is CPU, not graphical capabilities. You needed that Zen 2 processor that's in your new Xbox Series S, which is substantially 20 or 30 times more powerful than the Jaguar CPUs that were from the pre-Lisa Su AMD days. Absolutely terrible processors that should have never been made, in my opinion. And now we've gotten past that. The baseline of the consoles have jumped so high that we really need to be happy about that, because that's going to improve PC gamers like myself, Xbox One S gamers like me and my son, and up from there. And hopefully we'll also leap forward with a new Nintendo coming soon, which obviously rumors of the Pro, but that's for another conversation, taking that leapfrog up. And we need to quit looking at teraflops all the time, because teraflops only matter when you have two like GPUs, just like frequency for CPU only matters when you have two identical CPUs. I hear about at work all the time, well, this is only 1.2 gigahertz, this is only 3 gigahertz. Well, you know what? You need to forget about that, because unless they're similar architectures with similar core count, it doesn't matter, right? So I highly recommend that more people start off with the Series S and a monitor, and to get that baseline moving up, especially for younger people or people that like myself, that your Xbox is your second device, because the PC is my main device, especially with WoW coming out in a week. It's my main device, and I'm actually considering getting a Series S to attach to my monitor. Considering I play at 1440p, I can get 60 to 120 frames depending on what I'm playing. That is the way to go. All right. It's maybe not the resolution of the Xbox One X, but at the end of the day, that 20, 30, 40 times processing capability is going to give me higher frame rates, better fidelity, especially with RDNA 2 versus the old GCN architecture, which was greatly limited. And yes, I am worried about the memory side of things, the memory speeds, but some things can be upgraded with firmware updates. Like Redmond, Washington can really decide that, hey, look, we need to make some changes here. And while you can't add cores, you can't add GPU clusters, you can't add more memory blocks onto the motherboard, they can slightly raise the fan curve and give you a little bit higher clock speeds, give you a little bit better CPU clock speeds, which is my biggest. I'm really worried about the CPU clocks, the RAM clock speeds, but not at all the CPU. Like, stop hating on it. It's only $299. Let me repeat that. It's only $299. So going into the holidays, if you can get onto one and hold of one, which I highly doubt, don't expect to be getting this until sometime next year, which at the end of the day, we're still limited by original PS4, original Xbox One, and Xbox One S hardware and Switch hardware, which are lowering the baseline. By next year, we'll start to see that baseline come up. All right. When the Xbox Series S becomes the baseline, we're all going to be better off. And by the time that happens, we'll be looking at an Xbox Series S2 and an Xbox Series X2, which is your 2 to 3 year upgrades that we keep getting from all these companies. All right. So I wanted to talk about that tonight. I really want y'all's information. Please go down, hit the like button, go to the About page, see how you can support the channel. But more importantly, let's talk about it. Let's go into the comment section. Let's have some conversation. Let's see what people are thinking. What are you doing? What do you really honestly think about the Series S and what it can do to the baseline of gaming? Not, is it right for you? Is it right for the gaming? All right, and see you guys next time. Take care.